Today we're recapping the survival thriller movie, 127 Hours. The movie begins with various video collages. Then we meet Aaron in his apartment packing supplies as he's going to go on an expedition. His phone rings, and his answering machine picks it up. It's his sister, Sonia, and she says she's been calling him for days. Sonia tells Aaron to contact her with his song choice. Make himself available so they can practice, and he should make sure he calls their mother. While Sonia leaves her message, Aaron packs his bag. He leaves the house without responding to the message. He drives until he gets to Blue John Canyon. Aaron brings out his camcorder, records himself for his video diary. It's Friday night when he arrives. Aaron parks his truck with some campers and sleeps. On Saturday morning, Aaron's on the mountain bike riding through the wilderness. He's in his way to the Big Drop Rappel within the Blue John Canyon. Aaron says he intends to get in 45 minutes less time than the time given in the guidebook. After riding through the desert for a while, Aaron hikes the rest of the way until he meets Megan and Christy, the fellow hikers who have lost their way. Aaron offers to take them where they're going, and even suggests to go one better by offering to take them through a cooler route. After hiking a while, Aaron leads them through a narrow path where they have to squeeze through. Megan complains about the rocks, asking why they don't move. Aaron says they move all the time, but he hopes they don't move today. When they get to the spot Aaron wants them to be, he tells them to remember that everything'll be okay, and suddenly drops through the canyon. Christy screams out in shock. She and Megan call out to Aaron. They're scared until Aaron calls back to them. He's dropped into an underground pool. Aaron urges them to join him. Christy is the first to take the plunge. Together she and Aaron urge Megan to join him. After stealing herself, Megan also dives into the water. Megan enjoys the dive so much that she wants to do it again. Aaron offers to capture their dives on his camcorder. The three of them have a great time diving and swimming in the pool with the camera running after swimming for a while. Aaron leads them to their location while telling them about the history of Blue John Canyon. Before they go their separate ways, Aaron, Christy, and Megan take one last picture. Megan and Christy then invite Aaron for a party on Sunday night. After he accepts, they give him the directions to the party, and they part ways. Aaron continues to hike, listening to rock music and going through several canyons. As he continues on his hike, Aaron decides to descend down a canyon. He encounters a boulder, tests the boulder for stability, and decides to go around the boulder. Unfortunately, as Aaron maneuvers around the boulder, he trips. Aaron falls through the canyon, and the boulder falls with him, trapping his left hand to the canyon wall. Aaron is in shock as he tries to process what just happened. Aaron tries to pull his hand free. When that doesn't work, he struggles to lift the boulder. That didn't work either. Desperate now, Aaron tries to barge the rock with his shoulder. He continues until he sees the futility of his actions. Aaron screams, saying this is insane. He uses his leg as leverage against the rock and tries to pull his hand free. When that doesn't work, Aaron kicks against the boulder in frustration. His next action is using his body weight to move the rock. He does this while telling the rock to move. Exhausted, Aaron drops his backpack, brings out his water bottle, and takes a deep drink before realizing he has to conserve his water. Aaron hastily covers his bottle and puts it back into his backpack, knowing there's no way out of this logjam. Aaron calls out to Christy and Megan. An aerial view shows just how deep in the canyon and away from everyone Aaron is. Back in the canyon, Aaron empties his backpack on the boulder. He goes through his stuff until he finds his utility knife. Aaron proceeds to use the knife to chip away at the boulder. Even though he doesn't see any result, Aaron continues to chip away at the boulder until the utility knife falls through the crack. Using his foot and a stick, Aaron gets his knife back and continues to work until nightfall. By now, he's thirsty. He knows he needs to conserve his water. He waits until his watch tells him it's the next day before sipping on a little water. Left with nothing to do, Aaron imagines how the boulder got to where it was in the first place. He throws his rope until it latches onto something. Then he tries to use the tension to gain leverage and pull his hand out, but it doesn't work. Aaron tries to sleep, but his sleep is marred by dreams of him falling. When he wakes up a few minutes later, Aaron continues to chip away at the rock. When the day breaks, Aaron studies his environment. He notices a raven flying by. When sun rays enter the canyon, Aaron's taken back to when he was little. He remembers how he and his father watched the sunrise in the wilderness. Aaron brings out his camcorder, starts recording. He says his name, the name of his parents, their address, and begs whoever finds it to please give the tape to his parents. He recalls how he fell into the canyon and how the rock holds his hand in place. Aaron says he's low on food and water, and his hand feels pale because there's been no circulation in his hand for 24 hours. As he records, Aaron feels some debris fall on his head. Excited, Aaron calls out to whoever's there, but nobody responds. Despondent, Aaron notices the camcorder still recording. He rewinds it to the point where he asked for help, watches it, and then turns it off. Aaron tells himself not to lose it. When night falls, Aaron tries to insulate himself from the cold by covering everything he can find, from ropes to his backpack. Satisfied with the warmth generated, Aaron eats his last snack. He remembers Megan and Christy's directions to their party. They tell him there will be an inflatable Scooby-Doo. Aaron laughs and sings the Scooby-Doo theme song weekly. He imagines being at the party, and he watches people as they drink, dance, and party. Aaron drinks a little water. He tries to look at the bottle, but his vision's a little blurry. So he brings out his contact lens and puts it in his mouth. In the process of doing that, Aaron remembers the morning of the day he left. He's coming out of the shower, putting on his contacts when his mother calls. As usual, Aaron doesn't pick up. His mother leaves a message. She tells him she just wants to talk to him. She says his father's in New York, tells him to call her, and she loves him. Then he brings out his map, remembering how he photocopied it at work. His coworker asked him where he was going. Aaron told him he wasn't sure yet. The coworker then told him to have a good one. In his weak state, Aaron begins to hallucinate. He thinks the ant walking on his body is his ex-girlfriend's finger on his chest. In the morning, Aaron decides to use pulleys and some climbing rope. Aaron tries to pull himself out, but the rope is too stretchy, so it can't do the work Aaron wants it to do. He tries to drink some water, but he gags on it. Turning on his camcorder, Aaron does another diary session. He talks about the various things, his attempt at getting out, what he needs to get out, the amount of water left, the raven that flies by at 8:15 in the morning, and the fact that he gets 15 minutes of sunlight. Aaron also says he's been chipping away at the rock, but he feels his hand is supporting the rock. He believes the more rock he chips away, the more rock settles on his hand. Aaron uses the insulation of his camelback tube as a tourniquet. He tries to use the utility knife to amputate this arm, but the knife was too blunt. When he sees it doesn't work, he faces the camera and says the lesson learned is not to buy cheap alternatives to the real thing. Aaron says he tried to find his Swiss Army knife, but the utility knife came free with his flashlight. He tries to make light of his predicament. He remembers when he was young, and he was recording Sonia playing the piano. His parents are watching his recording on the TV. Aaron's mother compliments Sonia's playing, while their father's amazed by the fact they can see what Aaron is recording on the TV. Young Sonia, who thinks young Aaron is too close, whispers him to go away. Young Aaron backs away, and we see Aaron watching the scene from the window. Back in the canyon, Aaron's eyes are closed as he remembers the scene. He tries to drink a little water, then puts the water between his thighs as he tries to take off his contacts. Aaron's too weak, and the bottle falls from his grasp. By the time he rescues the bottle, the water's almost finished. Aaron remembers his ex-girlfriend, Rana. They're in a car with several other people. The snow is falling heavily. Aaron isn't shown, but everyone else is taking off their clothes. Rana, now naked, is at the wheels. She turns to Aaron and mouths the words, "I love you." Back in the canyon, Aaron, with his eyes closed, nods his head to the music playing in the car. In another memory, Aaron and Rana are lying naked in a car by the lake. Rana's using her finger to trace the line of Aaron's chest. She asks him how she can get into his heart, what the combination is. Aaron, in the canyon, tells her he would have to kill her. Rana reaches down to Aaron's groin and tells him she's already had his combination. Aaron dreams that rain suddenly starts falling. The rain causes a flash flood. Aaron tries to free himself as the canyon starts to fill up with water. The rushing water dislodges the boulder, and Aaron is free. He swims away, gets to higher ground, and runs to his car. From his car, Aaron drives through the rain to Rana's house. He knocks at her door. When Rana opens the door, Aaron tries to speak, but words don't come out. Rana closes the door, and now Aaron, still dreaming in the canyon, starts to talk in his sleep. He's saying please over and over while agitated. On Tuesday morning, Aaron pretends to interview himself on his TV talk show on the boulder. Aaron asks the host himself if he can say hi to his mom and dad. He apologizes to his mom for not taking her phone call before he left. He says if he talked to her, he would have told her where he was going, and he wouldn't be trapped in the canyon. Host Aaron mocks guest Aaron, calling him selfish. He asks guest Aaron who else he wants to talk to. Aaron says he wants to say hi to Brian, his co-worker. Aaron tells Brian he probably won't be showing up for work that morning. Host Aaron continues to mock guest Aaron. He fakes a call from a listener who confirms Aaron will be dead by the time the police begin searching for him. Guest Aaron agrees. Host Aaron asks if he really didn't tell anyone where he was going because he thought he was a hero. Guest Aaron agrees. The reality dawns on him, and he sobers up, still facing the camera. Aaron tells his parents that the time they spent together was awesome. He tells them that he loves them and he'll always be with them. On that somber note, Aaron ends the recording. As Aaron drinks the last drops of his water, he feels his heart starting to race. He tries to calm himself, but that doesn't work. Aaron reaches for his utility and stabs his stuck forearm. Then he reapplies the tourniquet to prevent bleeding. By Wednesday night, Aaron almost gags as he drinks the urine he has stored in his Camelback. He turns on the camcorder and rewinds to his recording with Christy and Megan in the pool. After he watches, he tries to continue chipping when his flashlight goes off. In the darkness, Aaron thinks he hears something. He tries to turn on his flashlight, but it's not coming on. Using his camera, Aaron takes a picture to see if there's anything there. His active imagination sees an inflatable Scooby-Doo, but when he checks the camera, there's nothing there. By morning, Aaron's weak and starting to see things. He and Rana are at a basketball game. Rana tells him she doesn't want him there. Asks him if that's what he wants. Aaron doesn't respond. She stands to leave. A hallucinating Aaron tells her to come back. Before she leaves, she tells Aaron he's going to be lonely. By morning, Aaron is fading. He starts to have collages of memories. He sees his parents and many people in his past sitting on and standing behind a settee. He sees him and Sonia playing a tune on the piano. An older Sonia is now sitting on the settee, putting on a wedding dress. Aaron apologizes that he's not going to be with her at her wedding. He says he's sorry they won't play the piano together at the wedding. He says his attitude shows what happened to him, that the rock had been waiting for him since it was a meteorite. He says every action he has taken since birth has led him to this point. On the walls of the canyon, Aaron has inscribed his obituary. He's weak, and then he has a vision, seeing himself playing with his young son. When the boy disappears from view, Aaron tries to see him, but his hand won't allow it. Desperate to be free, Aaron breaks both bones in his trapped forearm. Using the utility knife, Aaron proceeds to amputate now his broken hand. As he's cutting his hand, Aaron instructs himself not to pass out. The process is a painful one. When Aaron almost gives up, he sees his son, and this keeps him going. He keeps at it until he finally cuts himself free. Using a plastic bag to hold his hand and a makeshift blanket, Aaron cradles his arm. Before he leaves, Aaron takes a picture of the boulder and his trapped hand. Aaron walks through the canyon until he walks out into the sunshine. Using one hand and his legs, Aaron gets down the face of the canyon and drinks water from a puddle. Then he walks in the direction he came from until he sees a hiking family in the distance. When Aaron first tries to call out to them, he can't. After several tries, he finds his voice and calls for help. The family hears him and runs towards him. Together with another hiking party, they give Aaron water and food and help him get to a helicopter that takes him to the hospital. Later, we see another collage of Aaron. Aaron swimming in the pool. He's skiing. A bemused Aaron facing journalists at a press conference. As Aaron gets out of the pool, he sees his family, his wife, and his son Theo. We learn that Aaron still climbs, and now whenever he leaves home, he always leaves a note. That's a wrap on our character's journey. Let me know what you think in the comments and drop your suggestions for the next movie we should chat about. Stay awesome and don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. See you on the flip side of movie magic.